Hey everybody, it's late on a Wednesday night, and I thought I'd record something fun rather than what I have to record as far as creating Udemy courses. And I thought, what would be fun? How about I've never really explained Udemy course length and how precise it actually is. So I thought, let's create a course called Udemy Rules of Course Length. And what I'm going to explain in this course is the common sense approach to releasing a Udemy course. And this is the series all together. This is release 1. The rules of course length. Let's go take a look at it, shall we? Rule number 1. Achieve the minimum course length. Udemy courses must be at least 30 minutes long. Now, if this is a challenge for you, or if it's your first course, certainly release a 30-minute course. You won't sell any, or maybe you'll sell them to your neighbors and friends. But the point is that you will have gone through the entire process and actually have created a course. So the next step is to start creating more courses and keep getting better at what you do. But man, that first course, let me tell you, when it comes to getting a project going, it's like a stalled car with the tires stuck in ruts. It takes a lot of pushing to get the car going, and it doesn't matter which direction it's going because you can steer once it's rolling. So this first course, and 30 minutes seems fine to me as a first achievement, is an incredible achievement, and I pat you on the back if you make it there. Rule number 1, achieve the minimum course length of 30 minutes. Rule number 2, after 1 minute, course lengths round up to the nearest half minute. That means that 76 minutes, or 1 hour and 16 minutes, rounds up to an hour and a half. Now, this is the minimum course length I like to shoot for. And think about it. At 76 minutes, you're getting a 14-minute bonus being rounded up to an hour and a half. That's a 16% bonus. If you shot, now on my writing course, I'm actually competing. I've got a 17-hour writing course, and it's competing as far as search results rankings with 1.5-hour courses. I would not blame you. And I feel like sometimes I made the mistake by going for longer courses. If you went for 1.5 hours, think about it. 76 minutes. Keep that in your mind. Now, it seems like lately I've been producing 2.5-hour courses, at least the last 3 courses that I produced, and I'm pretty happy with that length. And I'll explain why in just a little bit. But that's 136 minutes. And it's once again a plus 14-minute gain by just ticking over that 15-minute addition, which is a 9% benefit from having not gone all the way to 2.5 hours. And then finally, what do you got to do to make it to 3 hours? And why is 3 hours so important? Well, you got to make it to 166 minutes, and that would give you 8% more, rounding you up to 3 hours. Now, 3 hours is really important, and I talked about that my latest courses are coming out at 2.5 hours, and that I'm not concerned about that because they're I always end up adding stuff. So I'm going to add a certain number of minutes that will round me up to 3. Now, why is 3 so important? Let's take a look at that. Rule number 3, aim for the filter by lengths. And this is the way courses are filtered by duration when students search for courses. Now, as to whether students commonly use the duration filter in search results, I have no idea. But I'm going to win at it if I have a choice. So, by default, half hour to 2.5 hours I consider to be kind of in the poor region. If you make it to 3 hours, then that becomes one of the search criteria. Show me courses that are at least 3 hours long, all the way up to 6.5, and I consider that kind of average. 7 hours to 16.5 is great if you can get into that range. That's going to make you really rank well in search results. 17 plus, too great. I'm sorry, that's just too long. You don't want to record 17 plus hour courses. Trust me. Now what I want you to focus on is the video duration increments over here to the left. And this is why I'm telling you that these lengths are important. Look, there are 1,474 courses that are from 0 to 3 hours long. But if you break the 3-hour barrier, suddenly you're competing against 1,072 courses. Now, this is if students check this little box on search results, and they've got to be pretty sophisticated Udemy students. So the likelihood is very low, but I always go for it. And as you go up the scale, there are fewer and fewer courses you're competing against. So that's the idea about length. Length is good, but at some point, length is good, but sometimes it's too long. Rule number 4, one-upmanship. Here's what I figure. If everybody's realizing the student filter lengths or duration lengths are 3 hours, 7 hours, and 17 hours, then it gives me a leg up to be an hour up on all those students that are searching for that increment. Does this make sense? Maybe I'm just really psycho, but I think about these numbers. So, to me, 4 hours is greater than 3 hours, which is the duration search length that students get to search for, and 8 hours is better than 18, so on. But what does this all come down to? Rule number 5. For me, the perfect course length is 4 hours. Now, what does that really mean? Actually, it means, 180 minutes plus 46, 226 minutes. If you can hit that, you have hit the perfect course length. Now, let me give you some supporting data to this. My longest course is 17.5 hours. 4 hours is my goal length. That means that for that longest course, I could have almost 5 other courses. Now, on Udemy, you make money by selling courses, not by selling hours. My point is that I think, although my 17.5 hour course is doing very well, I think that I might be able to do better with 5 shorter courses. So, the supporting data to my 4-hour course idea, I think, is pretty strong. It seems like a reasonable goal. It meets that first search criteria. It even one-upsmanships your competition. So 4 hours, I think, is the optimal length. Now let's look at the Udemy rules for course length and quantity. So this is a common sense approach to releasing Udemy courses series release 2. All in one course, and you're getting it for free. Rule number 1. In whatever niche you're going after on Udemy, be the longest course in your niche. And this is where the length wars begin. This is where you go out there and you see these, incredible 62-hour, these incredibly long courses. It's because course wars or course length wars began. Don't get involved in a course length war. That said, be the longest course in your niche. So there's a little dichotomy for you. Next, create the most courses in your niche. This is the other, it's like quantity times quality. So sometimes multiple short courses actually win out over a single long course. As I showed you, my 17.5-hour course versus my 4-hour goal. I could produce I don't remember the numbers, but something like 5 times the number of courses if I went shorter. So 4 hours is the goal. Next up, what are the Udemy course rules for search result ranking? How does Udemy sort search results? We don't know. Here's my guess and experience on what I've seen. Generating the most revenue, being a bestseller. I think this is the strongest influence on your ranking and search results, which is part of Udemy SEO.